Hi everyone, VortexTCG here, and today I'm going to be starting my BT13 coverage, and I'm going to be starting off with a deck that I've had a lot of history with, a deck that I've really enjoyed playing, and now it's a little bit iffy if I'm being perfectly honest. It's a very hyped archetype coming out of BT13, and that is Jesmon. Jesmon has got a lot of support in BT13, one of the few Royal Knights that actually got a full line, and it does have a lot of good tools within this archetype, but for me I don't think it does enough for it to become a meta-worthy deck. However, I'm going to be showcasing you my version of the deck and some things that I want to note out throughout the deck profile. So if you're looking forward to this deck profile, please do like and subscribe to the channel, it does mean a lot. And there'll be some more BT13 coverage coming soon. I'll be covering all the major archetypes in this set. So enough talking, let's get straight into the deck profile. Okay, and so let's get into the deck profile. I'm going to start off with the eggs, which are going to be 4 Gurimon. The draw is very necessary for this deck. Unfortunately, you don't really have much of a choice when it comes to the eggs that you play, because gaining another draw is very important in the early game, especially when you're trying to find your combo pieces. So we only play the 4 eggs. Then we'll get into the rookies. So I'm playing 4 of the brand new BT13 Huckmon. It's pretty nice because when you play a Sistermon, you get to digivolve into a Bal Huckmon without paying the cost. Pretty nice on paper, and it's inheritable, allows you to gain a memory when you play a Sistermon. So very nice, especially when you have 2 stacks that you're building. The value that you get from building 2 stacks in this deck has become way better. So you play 4 of this because essentially you're able to go into level 4 for free, and then you're also able to trigger off another effect like this later in the deck as well. So we play 4 of this. Then we also play 4 of the original BT6 Huckmon. This one's pretty good, and you need to play 4 of it because it is the main search of the deck. Reveals top 5, add 2 cards with Huckmon, Jesmon, or Sistermon in their names. So very important for the deck, because getting the amount of searches that you need for this deck, you need to play more of these cards. So we play 4 of these. So yeah, we play 4 of these, and then we also play 3 BT7 Huckmon. The reason why I play a high rookie count is because I want to be as consistent as possible, and this one helps with our consistency. When we swing, it doesn't have to be a Huckmon or something or anything else in the deck. You get to reveal top 5 and add any Sistermons. Sometimes you're desperately looking for a Sistermon, and this card really does help you find them a lot more quicker. Then we get on to level 4s, and we're playing 4 of the brand new Bal Huckmon. Bal Huckmon is very good in this deck because, again, you have the inheritable of gaining a memory when you play a Sistermon, so ideally you'll be able to continue your turn when you do play a Sistermon when you go into your Jesmon. And it also has the same effect where you play a Sistermon, you can also digivolve this into a Savior Huckmon for a reduce the cost by 2. So you're essentially going into a Savior Huck for the cost of 1, and that is very nice. Helps you build up your stacks. Again, if you have a Huckmon and a Bal Huckmon up, you can get so much value for having this card out, essentially. So you have to play 4 of it. We also play 4 Bal Huckmon from BT6. Sometimes we need to delete annoying rookies that stop us from gaining memory, like the Madoki Betamon. And like stuff like the Solarmon is very important as well to get rid of. Yeah, you play 4 of this, you just need to get rid of those problematic cards, and sometimes they'll play out like lower level rookies that might have a keyword that's important, like blocker. So again, yeah, we would just play 4 of those. I also play 1 Bal Huckmon. Again, it's just for consistency because I play 11 rookies and also 10 or 9 even level 4s, because I just want to make sure that I can find the pieces that I need. This one isn't very special, just gives another 1k DP, but sometimes it does end up mattering, so yeah. we play only one of that. Then we get onto our champion lineup, which is going to be 4 Savior Huckmon. This is the main one that you kind of want now. If you play a Sistermon with this card out, you get to go into a Jesmon and reduce the cost by 2. And if you have something like the option card, you're able to go into it for free essentially. Has the same when attacking effects. You play out a Sistermon, which is very important. So you're able to, if your stack is the newer stuff, you're able to play out a guy, gain 2 memory, Digivolve onto this for a Jesmon, and then gain other effects. So very important that you play 4 of this in the new version of this deck. It's definitely very good. I then also play 2 Savior Huckmon from the starter deck. This one, I mean, I play 2 of this because sometimes you don't really have the option to go into your X antibody. So having the idea of having this attack unsuspended guys is very important. And also, you know, it's just nice that you're able to swing with a level 5 instead of the level 6 sometimes. So we play 2 of this. We also play 1 BT6 Savior Huckmon. Becomes a lot more better now with the new supports because you're able to play a Sistermon and gain the effects straight away. The unsuspend isn't very important anymore, but sometimes it does matter. Just the fact that you're able to play out a Sistermon for free is pretty nice, and that's good enough reason to play out 1, obviously. It's also limited, so you can only play 1 copy. Also play 1 Chimeramon. We play Sistermon CLs and a lot of other level 4s, so just having this as another swing for game is very nice, and also helps you get rid of some cards as well. So very important that you play this. Then we get onto our level 6s. So we play 3 Jesmon X Antibody. This is the ideal one that you really want to go into. The Jesmon Blitz one is still nice, but this one just does everything that you need essentially, because you'll be keeping your turn most of the time now. So you go to this against piercing just normally, but when Digivolving, play out a Sistermon, gain 2k DP, and I believe all of them can attack unsuspended guys, so very important. And as this has piercing, you're able to get rid of a problematic card that your opponent has, and also gain a swing for piercing, so very important that you play this. Also very important that has the when Digivolving effect for the Jesmon GX. I still play 1 Blitz guy, Blitz Jesmon, because sometimes it does mean a little bit. Gaining additional security and 3k when swinging when playing a Sistermon, which hopefully you'll be doing most of the time with this card, is very nice. And also you're able to go into a Sistermon CL, go on top of this for the Jesmon X Antibody, which then allows you to gain additional body and also continue the security attack. So very nice to have in the deck, but you don't really need it as much. It's kind of like a last resort option in some cases. I also play 1 new Jesmon. This one is not so good if I'm being perfectly honest. You get to choose any number that adds up to 6k, deletes them, and you're getting 2k for each other body that you have on the field. And then all turns for each of your other Digimon with Sistermon and Royal Knight traits, all your Digimon gain 1k DP. So keeps it like strong so you could swing on the next turn, but if I'm being honest, you probably shouldn't play this card. I don't think it does enough. I think it's pretty weak compared to the older stuff, so I'd probably consider dropping this for another X Antibody. We round off the level 6s by going to Gankumon X Antibody. This is your ideal target to go for underneath GX because it essentially protects you from reducing DP or returning things from hand or the deck. So yeah, it's pretty nice for that reason alone. It also has blocker, which is nice, so you're able to go into this from a stack because it can digivolve from a red or a black. So keep that in mind. But yeah, most of the time you definitely do want to put this underneath your Jesmon GX. We then obviously have the Jesmon GX. We play 2 of it. One of the problems that I have with this deck is that it is very topside heavy, and that causes you to brick so much. So I know there's some lists that are playing like 3 of this guy. Honestly, I can never imagine doing that because this card is bricky enough. Essentially is your main playmaker of the deck. When Digivolving, put a Royal Knight underneath, uses a when Digivolving effect, and then Blitz. And then all turns for each Royal Knight, you gain Piercing, Blocker, and then Security Attack +1 for each one. So essentially you're able to swing, go for like 4 swings on your turn, and then hopefully reboot or whatever effect. So yeah, it's definitely a very good card, and it is your main way to end a game. The problem with this card, however, is the fact that it costs 5 to digivolve into, so you'll be lucky if you give your opponent 3 memory, but if you're giving your opponent like 5 or 6 memory because your turn's already passed, good luck, because your opponent is going to destroy you very quickly, because this card was very good when it came out, because you're able to... Giving your opponent 5 memory wasn't enough for most decks, but now it is, so it doesn't do it enough. There was multiple times during when I was playing at locals with this deck that I would do this massive combo, felt like I did everything I could, and then they would clear my board and I couldn't do anything about it, and they still had memory to spare to then set up for game on the following turn. So yeah, it's not good sometimes when you digivolve into this, but you do have to play it because it is your main playmaker of the deck. For options, we're playing 4 from Master Disciple, the backbone of this deck if I'm being perfectly honest. Reveal top 3, add 1 with Huckmon or Sistermon or Royal Knight in its traits among them, trash the rest, and then put this in the battle area. And then when you would digivolve, you can trash this to reduce the digi-evolution cost by 1, and the security effect is very similar using the main effect. So yeah, I mean, you have to play 4 of this. It's your other searcher in the deck, but it also, you know, helps you reduce costs when you need them. If you get 2 of these, you're pretty much able to go for game or do a massive swing turn even, but yeah, it's a card that you have to play at 4. Now going on to the vanillas, which are the Sistermons, and we play 2 Blanc, draw a card, and then all your Sistermons, if you have a Huckmon in play or a Royal Knight, become a blocker. So yep, you need this one for follow-up, just in case, you know, if they have bodies on the field that you can't get rid of, you need to have this one to deal with the board. Place 2 Sistermon Blanc, because there will be times where, you know, your guy will be targeted for deletion and you can't do anything about it unless you have this card, which prevents that from happening. Also is very nice, on play, discard 1, draw 2, which is very, very important, help you cycle throughout the deck. We play 2 Sistermon CL from BT6, gain 2k DP on all turns with all your Huckmon and Royal Knights, and then on play gain 1 memory. This is a nice one to play for your Huckmon, Savior Heart, Bow Huck, when digivolving, reduce the cost by 2, because you're essentially going like net positive most of the time, so, or like going even. So yeah, definitely play this one too. I play 2 Sistermon CL from BT10. You're able to digivolve onto digivolve into a Digimon with Royal Knight in its traits from your hand for the digi-evolution cost, and when you do, if your Huckmon in its name or Royal Knight in its traits digivolves, you gain a memory. Very similar to the other one, but it triggers off when digivolving, so very important to note. This one is the one that allows you to go into Jesmon GX when you're preparing for a massive swing turn. And yeah, you definitely need that. And then I finish off the deck by playing 1 Sistermon CL. I don't like this one as much, especially as we already have quite a bit of draw in the deck. But this one allows you to reveal top 3, add a card with Huckmon or Royal Knights into the hand, and then trash the rest. And then if all your Digimon with Huckmon in their names and Royal Knight in its traits, gain reboot. Very important if you're going to go into your GX, because you're able to then reboot your Jesmon GX and it becomes a massive blocker. Anyways, that has been my deck profile on Jesmon. Personally, I think you look at all these brand new cards on paper and you think that these cards are very good. The problem is that it doesn't really gel well, and unfortunately it doesn't do enough to make it a meta contending deck. Obviously there are going to be people that do very well with this deck, but in my testing and going to locals with this deck, I found out that it's very bricky, even if I am playing a more consistent version than other people are currently. So yeah, my opinions are, if you're a fan of Jesmon, you're probably playing the deck already. If you're looking for a competitive deck, if you're more lucky than me, I guess, I could definitely suggest Jesmon, but I think this deck lacks a lot of tools. Going into Jesmon GX, while it was good in BT10, doesn't really do enough in BT13, and just giving your opponent up to like 4 memory, 5 memory on their turn is now a bit more game determinative compared to what it was in BT10. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of my version of the deck down below. Your feedback is greatly appreciated on my version, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.